Hello everybody, I am Jack. So we will be today discussing about introduction to the neural network, what are neural network and what do they do and what are the various properties of the neural network. Please ignore the background noise, there is some construction work going on here. So let's move ahead. Okay, so I have shown two neurons. One is a biological neuron and other is a neuron of the artificial intelligence or the deep neural network which we use. The concept of the artificial neuron, or you would say the neuron of the deep neural network, has been taken from the biological neuron. As you can see in the biological neuron, there is a dendrites, as you can see here, the dendrites and the axon terminal. So dendrites are used to connect to the neuron which are present in the upstream. So there would be the multiple neurons which are present in the upstream and they will be coming and connected to this neuron via dendrite. Similarly, there would be multiple neurons which are available in the downstream and these neurons will be coming and connecting to this neuron via axon terminal. The signal from the upstream neuron is passed to the downstream neuron via this particular neuron, and this on its way these myelin sheaths will modify this particular neuron. Will modify not this particular neuron, will modify the data coming from the upstream neuron and it passes to the downstream neuron. So on a whole, this is how the biological neuron is working. The same intuition has been derived in the artificial neuron. As you can see in the artificial neuron, we have multiple inputs which are coming up here. These multiple inputs are coming to and are being multiplied by the weight matrix. So and then they are summed up. So each I can say that each input which is coming to this artificial neuron is being multiplied by some weight matrix W1, W2, W3, and then they all are summed together and a new bias is added to the summed input, and then it is passed through one function that which we call as activation function we will discuss about, and the output is generated. So this is a overall of single neuron. I know there are many terms which have been introduced like bias and activation function, but we will soon see what they mean and what they do. So don't get panic right now. We will look into each and every term in detail. So moving ahead, as I just said, there would be multiple inputs which is coming up. For example, I will say there are multiple inputs which are coming up here, and let's say it is 0.1, 0.2 and so on, 0.3. There is a weight vectors, let's say 1, 2, 3 and so on. These are getting multiplied like this. 0.1 will get multiplied by the weight W1, that is 1, plus 0.2 will get multiplied by the weight of W2 and so on, and these all will get added. This will give certain sum, let's say S, and then we will add a bias which can be positive or negative. Simply it's we can say it's a floating point number, and we will simply add it to the sum, and it could be positive as well as it could be negative. So we are simply adding it to the sum to create a new sum S dash, and then we are passing this sum which is available here S dash to a new to a activation function. So if I say, so we are passing it to a activation function here. When we are passing it to the activation function is nothing but a mathematical function. Mathematical function may be, let's say, a step function. You know the property of a step function. The step function is nothing but like this. So it will be 1 for all the inputs which are greater than 0, and it will be 0, or let's say this is a step function, it would be 0 for all the inputs which are less than 1. So this is x-axis. So for all the inputs which are greater than 1, it will be 1, and for all the inputs which are less than 0, it would be 0. For all the inputs which are greater than 0, it would be 1, and for all the inputs which are less than 0, it would be 0. So it is passed through this activation function. For simplicity, we have taken a step function as an activation function, and it will give a output. Output could be 1 or output would be 0. Some people take the activation function like 1 and -1. So for all the y could be y, so we could simply say y belongs to the range of 1 when the input to this activation function is, let's say the input be I, is greater than 0, and it would be -1 when I is less than 0. Okay, so we are done with the neuron. So this is a simple artificial neuron which has been created. So it involves the weights, it involves biases, it involves activation function, and thus it will give the output y. Let's see it a little in a matrix notation. So we know that we have an input x1, x2, x3 which is coming in, and it is getting multiplied by the corresponding weights, and then it is the weights, all the input is getting summed up here. A bias is also added to the input, and then we get the activation function. When we pass it through the activation function, we get the output. So consider it like this. Okay, so I would say the output which could be created in this, if I say there are m inputs like this, there would be m weights which are available. So the input to this activation function, let's say it z, input to this activation function would be x1 w1 plus x2 w2 plus x3 w3 and so on, x4 w4 and so on. It will keep on expanding like this till xm wm, and then we will add a bias to it. So this is the input. I would say this is the input to the here activation function. So it can, we could simply represent it like this. I am taking this here. We could also simply say it like this: w2, w3, w4 and so on into x1, x2, x3 till xm, and this would be till wm plus bias. So I can safely say that z is equal to this, right? So this is a matrix representation. If you would see, I will multiply w1 with x1, w2 with x2, w3 with x3, and obviously these two matrix multiplication will give me the same result as this, right? So as you can see, this is x matrix. We represent matrix by a column vector. We could say the matrix is a column vector, or we could simply also say this is a W transpose, because it's a row vector. Row vector is nothing but the transpose of a column vector. So in the if you will see in the neural network matrix representation, each matrix is represented as a column vector. So if it's a single, obviously if it's a single column, it would be represented as a column vector, and to represent it as a row vector, we usually take a transform of it. So here weight is a transform of the column vector, weight vector, and x is a representation of a column vector. It's as it is. So we can represent it something like this: W transpose into x plus bias. This is the representation of mine as an input to this activation function. As an input to this activation function. Okay, so I will give it as an input to the activation function. Activation function can be anything like we discussed. It could be the step function, simple mathematical function, or it could be simple sigmoid function. It could be simple ReLU function or anything. So this activation can be anything, and then it will give me the output. Depending upon the activation function I used, I have a particular output. If I use a step function, I would have 1 and 0 as an output. If I use a sigmoid, similarly I would have a 1 and -1 as an output, 1 and 0 as an output, and the values in between as well. If I use a ReLU function, then it would be between 0 and infinity. So depending upon what type of activation function I am using, it may be linear activation function or linear activation function. Depending upon the activation function I am using, I would simply get the response output Y. So this is a single neuron which is working here. We discussed what would be the output. We discussed what is usually the cumulative. This is also known as a cumulative input to the neuron. This is nothing but a cumulative input to the neuron, where we can see the cumulative input consists of these x, which we also call the feature input, or we also call that the input from the previous layer, or this could be the simple raw inputs which we take, multiply by the subsequent weight, and then add them together, add the bias as well with them, and pass them through the activation function. That is the input to the activation function, or we call Z. So as you can see, we have multiple values of x. We represent x with a column vector, x1, x2, x3, and so on. This is the representation of the feature vector, I would say. And we have multiple values of corresponding y, w, and we represent it by a weight vector. We take the transpose of the weight vector, multiply, that is a row vector of the weights, multiply it with the column vector of the features, add the bias to it to get the value of the Z. So this is a matrix representation of the cumulative input. We also discussed about the different type of activation functions which are available: ReLU, sigmoid, and step function. There are many types of activation function which are available, softmax, and so on. And we also discussed what the output can be depending upon the type of activation function. So let's say that we have Z which is available with us. The Z is nothing but equal to I would say x1 w1 plus x2 w2 and so on, plus x3 w3. For example, this is the plus bias. This is my input Z, where I have the three inputs to the to the particular neuron, x1, x2, x3. So if I make it in a pictorial sense, it would be something like this. These are the three input to my neuron, x1, x2, and x3. These are nothing but weights, w1, w2, and w3. And I would simply multiply them together, sum them with the input bias. So this is nothing but I will sum them together and I will produce a Z. This is the input Z, and I will pass through this input Z. Let's say I am passing it through the step function. So I am passing this Z to the step function, and I know if the value of Z would be positive, it would be if the value of Z would be positive, I would simply get Y is equal to 1. If the value of Z would be negative, let's say I get Y equal to -1. Simply, let's say it's not a step function. Let's say it's a let's say it's nothing. It's not a step function. Let's say it's a sine function. What would be the sign? I will get +1. If the sign is negative, I will get -1. If the sign is positive, I will get +1. So let's also consider this is the simple input Z input. Let's also consider let's also see this equation in a new way. See, as you can see, this is also the equation of the line. I can simply say the equation of line is nothing but let's say ax1 plus bx2 plus cx3. This can also be, this is also a linear equation. This is nothing but the equation of a line in 3 dimensions. We could in a single dimension we write it like ax1 plus c. This is nothing but the equation of line in a single dimension. In 2D dimension, one dimension is basically in a single dimension. the relation of x and y. Two dimension, the one dimension would be y and the one dimension would be x. Okay, so as you can see, this is also the equation of a line. This is a linear equation, simply linear multiplication, linear addition. So we can represent this z by a line like this. This can be represented like z like this. So if I erase this, so any input to the line, for example, let's take a simple line. Let's take a very simple line. Let's take y is equal to x. This is a simple line. This is a line which is represented as like this 45-degree line, whereas this is nothing but y is equal to x. So I can represent it as y minus x is equal to 0. This is the equation of a line which I am considering right now. We will see we will see few properties of a line. So if I say I will put the value, this is the x, this is y. If I say any value for say let's say I take this point is actually 1 1, this point is actually 2 2, and so on. If I say I am taking the value of x as 3 and value of y as 4, so the point would lie somewhat here. It is not on the line, it's basically above the line. So this when I put this in this equation, I would obviously get this value as positive, right? Because y is here 4, x is nothing but here 3, so 4 minus 3 would be plus 1. Similarly, any point which lie, so any point which lie, I will change the pen. Any point which lie on this part of the on the upper side of this line will have the positive. Will have the output of this equation. If I put these values of x1, x2, and x3, or in this case the value of y and x here in this equation of line, it will result me in the positive solution. Any point, if I put this these points values in this equation of line, I will get the negative solution. So I could simply say for all the points above the line we have a positive output. For all the points below this line we have a negative output. So if I use this in this equation, this is the simple property of a line which we just discussed. Now let's put it into the z value. So let's put it into this line. After putting into this line, I can simply say if the output of this equation is positive, then obviously the point lies on the upper side of this line. Here, for all these points, the output of this equation would be positive, and for all the points which are below this line, the output would be negative. So I could simply write it like this. When I give this positive or in negative output or output of this line to the any activation function, let's say step function, the output would be positive plus 1. The output would be I would say the output would be plus 1 for all these points. If I give this equation, if I give the output of this equation to the activation function, that is nothing but the step function, I could simply say for all these points I will get the output as plus 1 from my neuron, and for all these points I will get minus 1 from my neuron. So I can use a neuron simply to classify the two distinct type of classes. That is two binary. I can simply use it as a binary classifier. It could be, I could say this belongs to class 0, this belongs to class 1, or vice versa, and depending upon my assumption or my how I treat my output. So this so I can simply say a single neuron here is acting as a binary classifier. The only problem which remain unsolved here is how to find this line. So the only problem lies here is how to find this point, how to make the model learn where it should place this line. Should it place this line here, it should place this line here, or it should place this line here. And there are various techniques which are available, and we will see how the model get trained and how it learns to place to classify it learns how to classify between the 2 points. Okay, so this is a single neuron doing a binary classification. Let's say I will erase all the ink marks. Let's say again, this is a single neuron which is doing the classification. So single neuron, I want to classify these points separately as group 0, these points separately as group 1, and so on. So I can use my one neuron to create this classifier. I can use other neurons to create this classifier. I can use my third neuron to create this classifier, and fourth neuron to create this classifier. So I can simply say that anything within this can be a group 0, anything outside can be the group 1. So I can create a complex classification, classifiers using multiple neurons, and that looking at it, we can assume that if multiple neurons are connected together to form a neural network, then using the neural network we can create any complex classifier in any dimension. This can be assumed, or this can be taken out, concluded from this statement. This is a if I will repeat myself, this is a single neuron which has classified this line, and it is able to classify the two different groups. Now I want to create a complex classifier. Let's say I want to create I will use another neuron to create this classifier, I will use another neuron to create this classifier, and I will use another neuron to create this classifier, and I can use all these classifiers together to form a secluded group inside as group 0, and everything outside is group. So any complex structure can be created by using multiple neurons together, and after using multiple neurons together, we can it is safe to assume that it is known as neural network when we use multiple neurons in multiple layers, and it is safe to assume that a neural network can mimic any complex classifier which can exist. The only problem is how complex our neural network become in mimicking the complex classifiers which exist in this world. Okay, so this that's all for this lecture. In the future lecture, we will be discussing what are neural network when multiple neurons are connected together, how the neural network are formed, what is the forward propagation in the neural network, what is the backward propagation in the neural network, and there are many more things which we will discuss. So stay tuned. Like this video if you gain something from this video, subscribe it for future videos, and do comment if you have any thoughts.